In this video, I'm going to talk about one key secret that'll get you hitting your drives longer and straighter. Now I know what you're thinking. There are no more secrets in the golf swing, are there? But right after this, I'll explain, so stay with me. Hey, this is Steve from HitItLonger.com. I'm on a journey to hit longer, straighter tee shots, longer and straighter just in general. If that's you too, then you might consider hitting the subscribe button. So let's talk about this one key secret that I have. Not a clickbait title necessarily, let me explain. Yeah, for sure, there's pretty much no more secrets left in the golf swing. But this is one key that I don't think is talked about enough. And so many pretty good golfers are doing it wrong, but they don't, not only do they not know they're doing it wrong, but they're not even really aware of how important this key is. So that's why I kind of consider it a little bit of a tucked away secret, because if it's new to you and you've never heard of it before, then maybe you could call it your own secret. What we'll be talking about today is not the path of the club head, which is often measured on TrackMan and Flight Scope and things like that. Even the less expensive handheld or devices that sit behind the tee, they can read your club path now. And certainly we know we'd like to get the club path fairly close to zero or straight if we're going to hit the ball out there straight. But people often neglect to study this end of the stick, which when this is done correctly, not only will it have you hitting straighter, but also will simply turbocharge your swing speed and really give you a lot more distance. So let's get into it. So the path of the handle starts to become really important as you reach the top of your swing and you start in transition. Now, there's a couple of different errors that you can make to get yourself going wrong right off the bat starting down. And that it would be, number one, you take it back and the club drops under. Now see, I'm gonna transpose the screen, I'm gonna overlap on the screen a plane line, and you'll see that in one error, for a variety of different reasons, you might drop the club below the line too much. Typically the next thing that needs to happen is it'll go out, and so you will basically be trapped into a pattern where the handle is going out to the right of second base too far. This is going to really cost you distance and accuracy. Conversely, you can get it back to the top and you can go on top of the plane line like this. This might lead to the handle coming left, but it's also going to lead to too steeply downwards and to the left with your path. Not only will that cost you distance, but it's going to cost you accuracy as well. So if you are able to, from the top of the swing, if you are able to try to leave the arms relaxed and not to be active with them, but simply let them be reactive to the weight shift to the left and the turn of the chest this way, you're seeing that the handle of the club, this end, is going to come around me, but at such an angle as now I am on plane halfway down and in position to hit for power and accuracy. Okay, now let's move into the deeper into the downswing as we're studying the path of the handle. And as we come into the ball, we would really like to see from here that the handle is continuing to arc like this. It's heading for this direction here, but we would really like it to see, because it's starting to arc around the corner that it's going to end up right here, about one spread hand or so from your right pocket or right thigh. Because that's happening and it's arcing from here, it is leveraging, starting to leverage the club head around the grip so that it can square up, speed up, and turn upwards. All three things that we want for distance and accuracy. The error that many golfers make is to continue the handle going at the ball for too long. And you see now the difference here. It's no longer one hand span off my pocket, it's more like 2.5. And see now, you've got to think of a water ski boat and a water skier. If this is the water ski boat and this is the skier and the shaft represents the tow rope, then in the second case, the boat is driving straight and the skier has no leverage to swing around and catch up to the boat. You see, just like this. And now that puts me with a tendency to have a taller shaft. It tends to give me an open club face. It tends to give me a lot of heel hits because I'm driving the heel right into the ball. Now, if we look at a better way to do this, the handle is now arcing, almost trying to come back into the golfer. I have my hand spanned here, and the club head is being leveraged around, similar to if the water ski boat were to make a hard left, the skier would suddenly accelerate and try to get whipped around the boat. Now the skier cannot accelerate himself. He is at the complete mercy of the boat. He's completely reactive to the boat for the most part. So if the handle is arcing this way, it almost is acting like a pivot point on the club head to swing it around into the ball squarely. Now, through the ball, if the club handle has continued to arc back around to the left and almost trying to go back into the golfer at this point, the more radical the left turn and backing up that happens back into the golfer, you can see if I'm holding this by this pivot point, if I have a force moving this way, the head has no leverage to come around. It just falls in line. If I had a force in this direction, that's giving the club some leverage to come around and square up. Now, let's say that I had it 45 degrees, almost back upon itself with the leverage like this, and that was my direction of pull. We're going to get the club to really speed up, okay? So you see what this end of the stick does has a huge effect on what this is having. It's almost more important than concentrating on club path by itself. So again, after impact, we're going to pass the left pocket or the left thigh. And if the club has been arcing, it'll continue to arc as the body turns this way. You'll get a one hand span off the left pocket through the ball, and about this point, about 30 inches past the ball, the handle of the club is pointing back up at the navel or the center of mass, while the club head is continuing around its arc to the left. Then we'll double this again, and if you're on the right arc with the handle, the handle will disappear from view of the camera as it is tracking around to the left, or always left of second base if we were on a baseball diamond. A less optimal handle path would go either at second base or even right of second base this way. And again, we're back in that block pattern where you don't have the same amount of leverage. This would be even worse if I went to right of second base. Here would be a second base pull of the handle as I'm past the ball. This would be a right of second base. You see the reaction will be a negative pivot, or the club will actually want to seek to pivot behind. That is actually slowing the club down. It's a decelerating force instead of an accelerating force. So your speed will be greatly increased by a more optimal handle path, and it will retard your top speed if your handle path is less than optimal. Not only that, the other benefits that you're going to get out of a really optimal handle path will be angle of attack, higher launch, lower spin, higher ball speed, higher club head speed, greater accuracy, because with a good handle path, the club face will tend to track more square to square as it goes around its arc, without having to introduce a twisting force of the shaft upon itself that makes the toe of the club flip over. So hopefully you can easily see all the great benefits that you're going to get over focusing on this end of the stick. Remember that we need almost like a constant even arc from the top of the swing coming around the body. When you see somebody like a Justin Rose, somebody who's more of a swing technician like that, he'll be doing a drill where he's pulling that club around to the left like that in his practice swing before he hits a shot. That is because he's trying to move further and further away from a handle path that's less than optimal or high and to the right, and trying to move away from that blocking, hooking pattern, get himself more accuracy. Hey, so what did you think of my one key secret? Hey, if you have any questions or comments about this, if you still think it's clickbait, then hey, leave a comment down below. I answer most of the questions that I get in the comment section. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks to Golf Development Complex. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to take a look at the description below for a link to my free ebook and free video. Hopefully they'll make you better. I look forward to seeing you again, hopefully a lot further down the fairway.